Hello, this is Reverend Dore, Jacques Patlian, teaching the science of mind philosophy from Sarasota, Florida. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. You know, the science of mind is as old as Plato and as modern as the 21st century because it is the perennial philosophy. It basically says, as you think, so you are. Jesus said that too. So did the Buddha, so did Mohammad. I think pretty much everybody agrees on that. Interestingly enough, we don't follow it in our daily lives. Researchers at Harvard and Stanford and Princeton have all come to the same conclusion, and that is that we have about 90,000 thoughts a day. Some of us are busier thinkers than others. It runs from 50,000 to 90,000. And you know what? 90% of those thoughts are things that could be considered negative. They're either fear-based, or they're complaining, or they're making judgments about people, or they're being irritated or angry or complaining, or they're doing something that could be construed as negativity. A lot of them are based in fear, worrying about things you fear might happen. 90% are negative. I'm going to call this podcast the Fabulous 51 because in 1926, the founder of the science of mind philosophy, which is a modern version of what Plato taught, really, and the original Christianity of Jesus before the Roman Church got a hold of it, he said that if we could change our thinking to 50% or more positive, that is, not just happy talk, but thinking about things we want in our life, thinking about the things we want to create, how we want to live, rather than focusing on what we don't want. If I were to ask you right now what you don't want, you could give me quite a long list. I bet not a one of you would have a problem listing everything you don't want in your life. All the things that you fear might happen, all the things you're afraid of, all the things you're worried about. You could give me a list. But if I asked you to give me a list of the things you want in your life, things you truly desire, that might be a lot tougher for you. In fact, as I travel around the country speaking, which I did for 17 years, I had maybe one person in the audience raise their hand and say they knew exactly what they wanted. That's the first step in changing your life. Figure out what you want. And I mean figure it out. How do you want to live? Where do you want to live? What kind of house you want to live in? What kind of relationship do you want to have with your wife or your husband and your kids if you have them? If you're single, do you want to be single, or do you want to get married, or do you want to just have a partner? What do you want? How about money? Would you like to be wealthy, or is that a lot of responsibility and you'd rather not? Maybe you just want to be comfortable. Or maybe you even like being poor. There's a certain freedom in having nothing. You have nothing to lose, right? Personally, I think that's a pretty rough way to live, but that's up to you. What do you want? What is it you want? Make a list of it. That's your first homework assignment. Now, the next thing we want to do is try to change our thinking, consciously work at it. You have 50% or more of what you want. Think on it. Talk about it. Talk to yourself about it. Make decisions based on what you want, not what you don't want. Become a possibility thinker, not a fearful thinker. Open your mind to what you really want and what you deserve and what you should have. Don't worry about the how, because once you get real clear on what you want, the how will be found. You'll be surprised. You'll get inspiration from that inner voice, which is the voice of God. But until God knows what you want, you're not going to get it. Try this. Let's use the Fabulous 51. At 51% of our thoughts being positive can transform your life. I'm going to ask you to give me an email at ahcdore@netzero.net. That's ahcdore@netzero.net. Let me know how you're doing a week from now. I'll answer as many as I can. Thank you very much, and bye-bye for now.